Hi guys, we're going to look at 2 Chronicles chapter 13 through the first part of chapter 15 today. And this is a theme all through the Old Testament where we find where God put kings into place, and they had a choice on whether or not they were going to, obey God and do right in God's eyes. And every time the kings did so, then they had great success. And it's great lessons for us today. In chapter 15, we find the king Abijah, who came into leadership under and rulership for about 3 years, and he was known as one who did right in the eyes of the Lord. And some of the great things about Abijah is that he was somebody who really knew the history of who God is and who he was. And so when he came into rulership, he already had this belief system, and you can read it through chapter 13, where he really did believe that he had success because of God's promises. And I think it's a really good thing for us to remember the things that God has done, because oftentimes what God has done in the past and his faithfulness to us in our past gives us a clear vision, gives us good lenses for our future, to be reminded of the faithfulness of God. So you can find, when we read here, that he has a lot of confidence in God. So when he goes into battle, it's almost like where he's kind, because to the enemy Jeroboam, he says to him, listen, I'm just going to warn you, you're not going to succeed, because I am a descendant, and God's promises is that David's descendants will succeed. I will have success in battle against you, so don't even try to do it. It's like this kindness that comes upon him to even warn him, Jeroboam. But Jeroboam, of course, doesn't listen and goes into battle, and Abijah had less warriors, but again, showing that the size of the battle doesn't matter, because if we have God on our side, then that's where our victory lies. Our victory always in life lies in what God has said, and trusting and resting in that. And then we find where King Asa came into rulership, and he also was, we find in the first few chapters there, where he did right in the eyes of the Lord up to his 35th year of reign. And he was known as the king that really came in and kind of, again, cleaned out the idols, cleaned out the stuff, so that he would have success. And again, it's a good lesson for us to know that God will oftentimes come to us and say, I want you to get rid of that. I want you to clean that up out of your life, because it's for our betterment. It's for our own success. But we find that it was a whole process with King Asa, and which I think is really important for us to know that that's a lifelong thing, where God will come to us and say, now this needs to change, or this you need to work on. But every time he does, he gives us a grace to walk through it. And so we want to remember these promises. We want to remember those that have gone before us and how they really listened to God or didn't listen to God, because we find all through the scriptures that success came when obedience took place.